Recognizes Mr. Amo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As others have mentioned, the Development Finance Corporation provides enormous return on investment for the American taxpayer. By working with the private sector to build development projects, whether it's strengthening mineral supply chains in Angola or expanding fish farms in Vietnam, the DFC advances the United States' foreign policy goals and our economic interests. The DFC opens up markets to American businesses, thereby reducing the reliance on foreign aid and shifting our relationship toward an equal playing field where American investment advances American diplomacy. In doing so, it's the perfect counter to China's Belt and Road Initiative, a coercive financing scheme that pressures countries into accepting unfavorable investment terms while forcing them to look the other way on China's human rights abuses. If we want government that is both efficient and effective, then Congress must reauthorize the DFC to extend and expand their track record of success. Thankfully, we already have a blueprint in hand, the bipartisan DFC Modernization and Reauthorization Act of 2024, which passed through our committee last Congress. This bill would make key reforms to strengthen American competitiveness while authorizing the DFC to continue its unique role for another 7 years. And I use that word intentionally because the DFC does play, in fact, a unique role. First created in 2019, the DFC consolidated the various development finance tools from across the federal government, including USAID and the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, to better coordinate our development finance work. And while the DFC consults with USAID on projects related to foreign assistance, they serve separate and distinct roles. So that raises some alarm on the Trump administration's activity to openly float moving some of USAID's work into the DFC as they try to unlawfully shut down USAID. So Ms. Collinson, could you please explain how USAID and DFC's roles are different? How would shutting down USAID while folding some of its work into the DFC harm the DFC's core functions?
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. I mean, as I mentioned before in my testimony, I think, one of the biggest deleterious effects of USAID's dismantling for DFC will just be not having sort of folks on the ground in missions who can help with deal origination in particular. Again, they helped set up this mission transaction unit that was really critical in that arena. But also as DFC is trying to do a much better job of monitoring and tracking their impact, then if there are not USAID staff there, they just have much less presence, and DFC's presence overseas is quite limited.
Thank you. And as we know, the DFC is also a key tool in the United States as the United States deploys our support to our ally Ukraine in their fight for survival against Russia's unlawful invasion. Last year, I led a bipartisan letter requesting that the DFC scale up their work in Ukraine to support the Ukrainian economy and business community. Ukraine's economy is vital to success in this war. A stronger Ukrainian economy benefits the war effort, supports Ukraine's capacity for reconstruction, and reduces future reliance on foreign aid. I'm glad, especially glad, that the DFC committed to providing over $400 million in additional political risk insurance for companies investing in Ukraine. Again, Ms. Collinson, how does the DFC political risk insurance for private sector investments in countries like Ukraine support those countries' economies and encourage American companies to invest?
Yeah, maybe I'll start by just noting that the political risk insurance tool that DFC had is actually a pretty unique one. There's sort of a few other actors that have a comparable tool, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency being one of them, but it's really been shown to be catalytic in fragile and conflict-affected states in particular. And you could imagine just, being able to offer and take on at least assume a part of that non-commercial project risk in a setting like Ukraine has really been a vital way to just grow private investors' confidence in the economy and lend both to the economy now, but also Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction down the road.
Thank you. With that, I yield back the rest of my time.